CM 365, all about Carnatic music.
Today I'll be sharing something about the Talapakkam Composers. Now, who are the Talapakkam Composers? Sri Annamacharya, his son Pedda Thirumalai Iyengar, and his son Chinnaya are together known as the Talapakkam Composers. Actually, all the three of them were very prolific composers, and their songs, numbering about, say, 20,000, have been inscribed and preserved in the copper plates. In fact, we are very lucky that these have not just gone into thin air, but we are able to get access to their lyrics because of the copper plates. And these copper plates are actually now left in the Venkateshwara Oriental Research Institute in Tirupati. So thus the rich lyrics, the songs that were composed by these Talapakkam composers have been handed down to us. The Talapakkam composers were actually Nanda Vaidika Brahmins, and Telugu Kitanas actually formed the bulk of our South Indian classical music. You would see that even people, that is composers who are basically of Tamil, Kannada origin, they all have resorted to composing in Telugu because of the facility that the language provides for them. The earliest Telugu Kitanas, we can say, are of the Talapakkam composers. And what is a major contribution in terms of the compositional structure, I would say, is that they were probably one of the first to conceive of a form of the Kirtana with the three-part section like Pallavi, Anupallavi, Charanam. Later on, of course, we see that Tyagaraja, Dikshadhar and Shama Sastri gave full vent to their imagination in this particular format of Pallavi, Anupallavi, Charana. But we could say that the seeds for this were sown by the Talapakkam composers. The composition of Talapakkam composers are also seen in many rare ragas. In fact, there is a mention of these ragas, but we really do not know how the lakshana of this or how they sounded because of the fact that only the lyrics and the mention of the ragam is there. But nevertheless, we see that ragas like Narani, Hajjaji, Konda Malahari, Mukhari Pantu, Gurjari, Deshalam, etc. are mentioned as part of the composition. There you see that the raga name is mentioned. And Annamacharya, who was the most important composer, the most prolific among the Talapakkam composers, he also received many titles for his proficiency in terms of being a great composer, like Sankirtanacharya, Hari Kirtanacharya, Pada Kavita Pitamaha, and so on. Coming to his grandson Chinnaya, he is regarded as the Mula Purusha for the modern bhajan paddhati. And in addition to Kirtanas, he has composed songs for the Utsava Paddhati, that is Todayam, Hecharika, Dhupa Deepa, Nevaidya, etc. And his Todayam Mangalam actually is very kind of popular, and even now it is sung at the commencement of every bhajana in South India. Another interesting information is about a composition of Chinnaya in the ragam Shankarabharana Raga, which goes like Sri Haripada Tirthame. What is significant about this composition is that it is set to Atatala. Now, from this we are able to get a great insight about the fact that though we know that Purandaradasar composed in the Suladi Saptatalas, his, that is Chinnaya's handling of the composition in Adatala gives us an indication that probably these talas were already in vogue in the pre-Purandaradasa times. That is because of the fact that this particular composition is in Adatala, we get to infer that all these Suladi Saptatalas were already in vogue. And of course, for all these compositions, we have the lyrics in the copper plates, we have the ragam mentioned for them, but we do not have any mention of the talas. And of course, because of this fact that we do not have any notation or some parampara like Tyagaraja for us to get an indication of how the song sounded, we see that many of the sahitya of these great Talapakkam composers have been set to tune by many musicians, for example, Dr. Pinakapani, Sri Nedunuri Krishnamurthy, Kadenallur Venkatraman, and many others, they have set these songs to beautiful tunes, and thus they have become very popular, I would say, in the Carnatic music field as well.
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.